Well, hello. My name is Matt Edmondson, and you are listening to the eCommerce podcast. Yes, you are. Now, I've been in e-commerce since 2002, and these days I partner with e-commerce brands to help them grow, scale, and exit their business. And if you'd like to know more about how that works and whether or not we could work together, just head over to the website ecommercepodcast.net. You'll find all kinds of amazing information there about what I do, about this podcast, all the past episodes, all the information on guests like today's guest. It's all going to be on there. The show notes, everything. Go to the website ecommercepodcast.net. Now, today I am joined, get my words right. I am joined by the legendary Luke Yarnton. We are going to get into a conversation. But before I do that, let me give a quick shout out to FeedSpot. They sent me an email the other day. Luke, you may or may not know this. Well, you won't know because why would you get access to my email? They sent me an email with a list of the top 100 e-commerce podcasts. And this podcast is now number 9. So I just wanted to say a big shout out, big thank you to everyone that's got us to that place. Hope you get something out of it. And if you're new to the show, make sure you like, subscribe, and do all of that sort of good stuff. Because number 9 is nice. But honestly, I need to be number 1. Just saying. And I can only get there with your help. So do all that good stuff. But Luke, listen, man, you have a company called Rave. You do everything to do with influencers. And before we hit the record button, you were talking about something which is, well, how did you phrase it? It is the most ridiculous idea that is currently out there where influencers are concerned. We all want to know what it is. Let's jump into that. Welcome to the show. What's this ridiculous idea?
Yeah, look, this is something that I'm quite passionate about. And you've seen probably, if you're paying attention to LinkedIn and those who are commenting about e-commerce on X/Twitter, there seems to be this massive rise of people using AI agents to act as influencers to promote their brand. So the idea is you've got this non-real person that's going to be reading a script promoting the features of your product in the hope that you'll be able to trick some potential customers into believing that this is an authentic review and this is someone who genuinely loves your brand. Look, I think that's the stupidest thing you can do as a brand. I think that's such an insulting thing to do to your potential customers, to try and sort of false stage some influencer activity. That I just think these are the sort of things that customers will remember. And you build trust one post at a time, and to go about it in this particular manner, I think is very short-sighted and a little bit insulting to people who, I'm sure there are people out there who do know and love these brands, who would be willing advocates of them, and to use a non-real human, I think is pretty silly.
It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because I'm listening to you talk and I'm like, I don't use... Clear off the bat, I do not use an AI agent for my LinkedIn or for my content. But I do use AI to help me create content. I am very, very involved in the content that we create because I feel like I have to be. But I do use AI to help me craft and edit and critique content, and even to do some of the research. What's interesting to me is I see people doing this and I have to question why. So is it because they want to create content but they don't have time? Is it because they feel like they can shortcut the system and just do it easier because they just want to do it easier? I don't know. But I agree with you. I think the fundamental thing about content is it has to be from you, right? I mean,
exactly.
Why would it not be? I mean, we can all go and read AI stuff. Why? So I think it's how you're going to differentiate yourself, perhaps.
Exactly. And look, I think they're sort of trying to tap into this market of social currency where you get people talking about your brand. And the whole idea of social currency is that it has some currency, it has some perceived value. And by taking away the human element, you're just sort of like completely devaluing the currency that is social currency. And like to your earlier point, there are a bunch of really, really good tools out there that are new tools that will help you with the efficiency and help you with the execution of the content you want to get out there, whether that's video content. There's some tools that help you chop up video content into some postable that is based on real human UGC that you might have in the mix, or there's tools that help you write scripts and tools that help you schedule. But to take away the actual sort of endorsement element of that that comes from someone who has held your product in their hands or taken the supplement, I think destroys the entire idea of what's going on here, which can maybe lead us into this potentially concerning future where, and we've seen this already, right, where the level of trust that a customer is going to have in an advertisement, or the level of trust they even have in these bigger sort of macro influencers, is continually decreasing year after year after year, and you're left with a little bit of trust remaining at these lower level, authentic, genuine influencers that have a huge amount of respect for their audience and will only post and endorse things that they truly believe in.
Yeah.
So I think this is just going to further exacerbate that destruction of trust if you do use these funny AI-based influencers that you'll feed an AI script into for some sort of pretend endorsement. I don't even know the way to describe it.
Yeah, no, it's a fair point, and I totally agree. We've been quite clear, I think, as a company on what we will and won't use AI and automation, AI and AI agents for. Some of it's, some of the stuff coming out is really clever, like you say. And I mean, you mentioned tools, and I'll come back to that because I'm curious to know what you would recommend. But it's interesting you circle around to this idea of trust and how trust is the one thing that we need, but it's the one thing which feels like it's getting harder and harder to get. And so I watch, brands use big influencers to promote a product or a brand. And you know full well there is no way on God's green earth they're using that product, right?
Exactly.
They're just not. It doesn't make any kind of sense to me. There's no authenticity. You've just got a famous person to prepare. And yes, that might work in traditional advertising and good on you. But you're right about this element of trust, which is why I'm guessing, Luke. I mean, we've talked about this a bit on the show over the years, but which is why I'm guessing the nano influencers, the micro influencers, people are saying these are better for your brand because actually these have a better trust relationship with the people that they're connected to. And as long as they genuinely like what you do, and they are connected to the brand, like I'm seeing more and more people actually work with influencers who actually buy their product, rather than just giving free product out to a bunch of influencers and then hoping that they do a good, bit of UGC. It seems that's a good way to sort of build and maintain trust.
Yeah, exactly. Look, I think people are smartening up to the way the influencer world works. In that the days, or at least just the original strategy was, as a brand, I'm going to find the biggest possible influencer who I can pay an appropriate amount of money to post about me on their Instagram. Just one photo of them drinking my drink or taking my supplement or working out in my workout gear. That'll be enough. And it'll be a pay for post, and you'll pay $5,000, and there'll be no performance aspect to that at all. And it'll be a one and done, and purely based on existing in their halo. I too will be a great brand. That seems to be on the out now, where people are looking for a more of an always on, consistent, maybe slightly more performance led approach, where they are tapping into more of these sort of lower level influencers and creators that have a stronger connection with their audience, that will provide sort of more of a genuine connection, and you are hitting that right audience group. I think an important point to add here is that, before we're doing what we're doing now as a company, we built out a fully fleshed out affiliate platform where we would help brands get links, referral links in the hands of these 1 million to 2 million follower count influencers, as well as these micro influencers and nano influencers that have sort of closer to that 5,000 to 15,000 follower count. Even the best influencer that had more than 1 million, 2 million followers would never outperform the median nano influencer.
That's interesting. Yeah.
So they consistently flopped. They don't have that ability to generate genuine transaction and purchases off the back of their suggestion the majority of the time. I'm sure there are some exceptions to that. but the level of trust that these nano influencers hold is significantly stronger. So that's sort of what's pulled us into what we're doing now, is because of that previous experience with the affiliate platform, we know that if a brand can get an influencer with 5,000 followers posting about them organically, that's a pretty cool outcome for a brand. So how do we get to an influencer that organically loves this brand, posting about them more quickly in an organic sort of serendipitous way? That's a pretty cool unlock. So that's kind of how we've got to the route that we're on now, and we're unlocking a bunch of value for the brands that we're working with here.
That's really fascinating. And so you've got the data to prove what everybody else knows is true, is that actually the large influencers have access to, so you got one person who has access to a big audience, but if you've got a bunch of smaller influencers and collectively they have the same size audience, the smaller influencers are going to outperform the larger ones just significantly.
By massive numbers. It's like I was consistently, time and time again, surprised by just how inefficient and how disconnected audiences are to these bigger macro 1 million follower count plus influencers.
No, that's fair enough. I guess that's why they're all starting their own brands, aren't they? So
exactly, yeah. And look, what they are still good for is some top of funnel awareness, and for some potentially you'll get some branding benefits from being connected to them. But if in this day and age, the brands tend to be most brands tend to be slightly more performance focused. So if you want genuine transactions and genuine transactions relatively quickly, that's not the route you want to be going down. You want this sort of ambassador army of these medium-sized to lower-sized influencers that just advocate for you all the time.
Yeah. No, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. Hey, listen, if you are listening to this and you are in fact an e-commercer yourself, you run your own e-commerce business, let me tell you a little bit about Cohort. Now, Cohort is a free monthly group that you can join, and we have them in different parts of the world. So, hopefully one fits your time zone. But you can come and join us on Cohort. Basically, it's just a bunch of us involved in e-commerce. We get on calls. How's it going? Share stories, share what's working, throw some thoughts into the ring, and we connect with like-minded people. We do it on Zoom. It's all free, and it's all very, very fantastic. So if you would like to know more about that, just check it out at ecommercepodcast.net. You know the website by now, ecommercepodcast.net. But yeah, go check it out there, especially if you're involved in e-commerce. Would love to meet you in those groups. Now, let's get into this then, Luke, because one of the things you've mentioned then is, well, it's better to go get the smaller, accounts. How do I do that? How do I do what you call build an unstoppable ambassador army?
Excellent. So this is something I'm very passionate about and very excited to be talking about here, Matt. And it's something that you'll see a lot of brands are shifting towards now, is that they want this always-on army of advocates and ambassadors around them who love their brand, who will be posting about it consistently. But it can be managed in a way where you don't have to hire a headcount purely to be this community manager or something like that. So I think what a lot of brands overlook is the power and the reach of their existing customers. There are people who buy from you every day who have the ability to share with their friends, family, and followers in a meaningful way. Like we do this analysis a couple of times a week on brands that typically have between sort of 500,000 to 1.5 million email lists, folks in there. And typically what we'll see is that the average brand will have somewhere between 200 and 250 influencers. And when I say influencer, I mean someone with more than 2,500 followers on a common platform.
Right.
Per 10,000 emails. So that's 250 per 10,000 emails. And that's completely being overlooked. So brands tend, and I guess it was originally done in the world of e-commerce because you had no way of finding out who actually exists within your customer list. But now we live in a world where there's a bunch of these really complex influencer platforms that have rich information about every creator that's in the world. Like our platform has access to over 15 million creator and influencer profiles. So we can see in real time who's shopping and what their follower count is. So no longer are you viewing your existing customers as sort of this passive group of people that are just enjoying my product. Whereas now you're saying, look, these are actually our best marketing asset. These are the folks that we can sort of co-create with and we can collaborate with to get some really interesting outcomes that are A, affordable, and B, super authentic and brand accretive. So our approach is, let's find out everyone within your audience that has a meaningful social media following. And once we've done that, let's do some pretty basic outreach. We don't want to be like too much of a pest. These are people who bought your product organically. They love you. They've spent their own hard-earned cash. Let's make a soft offer to them to see if they're interested in becoming an ambassador or an advocate for you and speaking for the brand. So that changes in a bunch of different ways. It looks different for different brands depending on the average age of the audience or the type of product that you're selling. Like one of our strongest brands we're working with is a ticketing site in the US. Massive ticketing site. They sort of do north of $500 million worth of ticket sales a year. Our ability to reach out to their customer base and say, you want to be an always-on advocate for us is limited because it's based around a specific purchase of an event, and they need to be hit right at that perfect time where they can say, hey, here's something I'm going to, y'all should come along too. Whereas if it's a supplement brand, that's so much easier just to say, hey, look, I know this person who is an influencer who's purchasing from me every single month has a reach. There's some really fun ways that I can do some surprise and delight in that regular outreach, whether that's the merch or whether that's the upsize or even just something as simple as a handwritten note acknowledging their purchase goes so far with these sort of nano influencers and micro creators who might not be used to being acknowledged and used to being sort of singled out. That belly scratch makes them feel special and is sometimes enough to get them from being a passive person who's enjoying it to someone who's posting.
That's really good. And again, I mean, that's just a general human thing, isn't it? So many people go unnoticed that actually if you just notice somebody and say thank you in a unique way, people just genuinely fall in love with you. And it's, people love that. So we're looking in our existing customers for people who have got over 2,500 followers.
Exactly.
Ideally. How do I do this? Because we've been having this conversation, ironically, actually, it's perfect timing for us in many ways. We were having this conversation the other day in the office. Like, do we just email every single customer and say, listen, we're thinking of setting up an influencer program? It's not quite how I'd phrase it, but in essence, if we're setting up an influencer program, would you like to get involved? Or is there a better way to do it? I kind of know how you can answer this because I know this is where your company does some help. So quick plug for what you guys do and tell us how you would help someone like me not to do that, or maybe that is the best practice. I don't know. I'm making an assumption here.
Hey, look, I'll take you through the whole process here. I'll tell you how we would do it as a company that specializes in this. But it's not to say that if you don't work with us, you can't do it. I'll speak quickly to if I didn't have any budget at all to this and I still wanted to see this outcome, how would I do it without budget? So for us, what we do is we integrate into the email platform that these brands work with. The most common one is Klaviyo. So Klaviyo is what's going to send out the post-purchase order emails. And how that works with us is the moment a transaction takes place, a customer profile is created in Klaviyo, which has a bunch of details, name, email address, some order details. We use that to create a profile that we match against 15 million influencer profiles that exist in the world. And once we do find that we have a successful match, then we trigger a flow that goes out to all of these creators that says, hey, just noticed you made a purchase from us. Looks like you might be a good fit for our creator team. If you are, click this button and we'll automatically add you to our creator community. Something as simple as that. But we'll do some conditional flows where if it's between 3,500 and 100,000, they get email A. If it's between 100,000 and 300,000, for example, it'll be email B, which will be a little bit softer, saying, hey, love what you just, love that you purchased from us, love your content. Would you like us to send you some more free stuff? Something like that. Or our founder would love to chat to you about a potential collaboration. Here's a meeting link. Let me know if you're interested in chatting. And then the third flow is if they've got more than 300,000, we just send a notification into their Slack channel saying, hey, by the way, this person just made a purchase. If you want to reach out to them, reach out to them. If you don't want to reach out to them, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
We're mindful there still is some value in having those brand partnerships with the massive creators, and automating communication with them probably isn't the right way to go about.
Yeah. For the same reasons we don't do AI agents in our
exactly.
content. Yeah. Same reason.
And then we parallel that with we've just got our hands on a really cool new one of these AI agent startups, which is allowing us to automate DMs out to the creators via Instagram, which is a very similar message, which is, hey, not sure if you saw our email, saw you purchase from us, love your content, reply if you're interested in a collaboration.
Yeah.
So those are being fired out one day after that initial email goes out. The idea being that now you've at least made the ask. Simply asking if they're interested. You've identified them. They have a potential to be a really good collaborator for your business. You've hinted at there's some upside for them, and then you've built this community. And the idea is you'll end up building 500 odd people who are inside this created team. Some brands manage it in like a Slack channel or a Discord or a Instagram broadcast channel where they have the founder constantly posting sort of once a week saying, what color do you guys reckon we should have for next season's drop? Or are you also facing this problem? Depending on the brand, you sort of activate them and work with them and make them feel involved and loved by the brand. Give them some early access. There needs to be some benefit to them beyond just a simple referral link. And then you're just every single month, your brand is top of mind for them because you're talking to them, you're maintaining that relationship, and they love your brand because they paid with their own hard-earned cash to make a purchase. And by opting in, that's their way of saying, hey, look, let's make something of this together in a way that's mutually beneficial.
That's really cool.
And if I didn't have any budget, the way you do that is an email that goes out post-purchase, perhaps the same time you're sending out that review email saying, hey, by the way, we're building an ambassador army. There are a bunch here's a list of the benefits that everyone can get. What you have to be careful is you don't want to be seen to be excluding everyday customers from being an ambassador because they don't have enough followers, because that's sort of like a pretty disappointing outcome for them. Everyone gets in, but as part of that, you'll ask them to sort of submit their Instagram handle or some sort of handle as they go through the process, and you can sort of manually sort who's the big fish and who's not, and you can sort of manage that organically throughout that process and just do the exact same thing.
Yeah, that's super smart. Is it I guess there's as I'm listening to you talk, Luke, there's a cutoff in terms of budget. So if I don't have money, I'm going to go down the route of setting up a post email sequence. Okay, I get that. I can do that. That's not a problem. Yeah. If I've got budget, I'm going to come to someone like you and say, listen, this is great. You've got software that's going to make my life a lot easier. I guess another way to look at this is to say, at what number? So if I've just started out, for example, and I've only got like 1,000 people on my email list, it probably does it make sense to use you? Probably not. I don't know. At what number does a service like yours actually really start to impact a business like mine?
Yeah, so look, we like to work with brands that have more than 10,000 emails in their customer list. Before that, the volume of sort of influences we discover is going to be difficult to make meaningful changes. That's not to say that we haven't had great outcomes for smaller businesses. I'm sure, as you've seen, as I've seen, all it takes is one good creator to make a meaningful change for a business. Like I keep wheeling out the same example with a lot of people that I speak to. Is with one of the brands we work with. They're a suitcase brand. They sell in-flight suitcases, carry-on bags, and the like. We found one YouTuber, 5,000 subscribers, maybe 5,500 now. He's generated more than $330,000 worth of transactions for this brand. They set him up with a referral link and asked him for his opinion every now and then on like what sort of, because he does suitcase reviews as his channel on YouTube. It's very niche, but he felt like he was included. He felt like he was part of the brand now. He posted a bunch of videos. He re-recorded a new video every 2 months for this particular brand with his affiliate link. I think he was getting like $20 per suitcase sale.
Wow.
And he's generated $330,000 worth of sales. This is a very meaningful percent of that brand's total revenue for the last 12 months.
Yeah, no. I mean, influencers. When you look at the numbers, it's incredible, really, when you can track it out. How do we? Whether I've emailed them out post-purchase sequence, then, or I'm using Rave or a service to kind of help me. How do I, as a brand, make sure? What do I need to think about as a brand to? You use the phrase "always on," right? So, how do I make sure they don't just sign up and then forget about us? How do I deliver this value? How do I keep them engaged? How do I get them sharing posts regularly?
Exactly. Look, so we break it down into 3 separate stages. So stage 1 is getting the right people into the top of the bucket, top of the funnel. So you've got an opportunity for people to share. The next stage is you don't start with the idea of this needs to be an always on solution. What your first goal should always be is how do I get them to talk about me or post about me or perform some sort of ambassadorial task just once. I just want one single task out of them. So getting them to perform that first task should be the number one objective. And there needs to be, obviously, the right timing, the right task for them to complete. If you ask every single person who's just made a purchase from you to create a 1 minute long Instagram reel and post it, that's a pretty high level of ask to get from them, and you'll get pretty low conversion rate, and it's going to fizzle them out. And they're not going to be interested in being part of your little army of ambassadors anymore. So you need to have a really easy goal for them to get across the line to start off with a pretty meaningful carrot at the end of it. So it might be something as simple as, look, if you post about us on your Instagram story, easy to come by. Just purely post. You don't even have to tag us. You don't have to use a referral link. Just show that you've made a purchase from us and it's part of your day-to-day life. That's enough. We'll send you a free hoodie, or we'll send you a cap, or we'll send you something. And that tends to work well. And once they've performed that once, you've formed a behavior. And then now that they're in the group, you can say, look, now we're in the month of April or month of May, whatever it is. Here's a list of all of the potential ambassador rewards that are going for this month. And you can just recycle them every single month. So it'll be, if you want to post a reel, here's kind of the reels we're looking for this month to support the ads that are going out. This is the reward. For an Instagram story, here are some stories that we're looking for this month. These are the rewards for these types of stories. And by the way, everyone in the Ambassador Army gets an affiliate link or a referral link. Here's how you can generate that. And then use an example of here's an example of an influencer just like you who's made $5,000 in the month of January by cleverly talking about our brand and using the affiliate link like an absolute champion.
So you're talking about 2 things there, then, aren't you? I'm giving the influencer 2 things. I'm giving them a reward for an action, but then I'm also giving them a referral link so that they make a commission on the sale.
Exactly. So that's an option. They have the option to have that referral link and affiliate link. That tends to be the one that most brands go down because they like to see attributable sales and they like to know where the transactions are coming from and that this is a high ROI channel. Other brands, and I'm sure you've seen it in your work as well, is that they're just super thirsty for any content. The content drives all paid performance marketing at the moment and all sort of website optimization. So maybe they don't actually care about getting the affiliate links out there or the referral links out there. And look, certain brands are not well positioned for referral and affiliate links. If you're a luxury brand, referral links and affiliate links don't work as well. If you're a brand that has your average age over 50, by asking that customer to sort of understand how referral and affiliate links works, just purely that coaching process can sort of throw a spanner in the works. So it's purely just talking about the brand and getting the right content that you can then have flowing through into the general marketing engine is what's key. I'm not an expert in telling a brand exactly what they want from these creators and influencers that exist in their mix. That's for them to decide. But I can say, look, here are some proven cases of the way that brands we work with have utilized this army that exists within their customer base to achieve their business goals.
So this, so what have you seen actually work well then? I mean, you've obviously got these case studies. I'm curious because I would genuinely love to know what is working well at the moment in terms of motivating. What have you seen brands do that you kind of think that's genius? That I can see why you're winning at life now.
Good question. So the brand, one of the brands that is working really well, has a high amount of brand loyalty. They work in the sort of fitness and fitness clothing space with posture correcting fitness stuff. So what they're doing is they know that they have a really high level of brand advocacy and brand love. So they're finding the creators that already love them, and they're purely getting content. For them, content is king, and they want top of funnel content. So for them, it's, look, you don't even need to post anything. Just give us a 15-minute script and a selfie style video talking about why you've bought this garment and not another garment. And then they're just using that video to chop it up and repurpose it all over the internet.
Yeah.
The brand that I was talking to about the earlier with the suitcases and carry-on bags, they're very performance driven. They only want attributable sales, really. They've got a little bit of the softer stuff around making people feel included and part of the community. But they have if you're going to take that approach, the size of the prize needs to be there. You can't cheap out on like 1% commission on referral transactions or 2%, which you see brands trying to go down. And I understand that like you're eroding away margins every now and then, but they have a pretty meaningful reward of, I think it's like $20 or $30 per transaction. And that tends to be enough to get most people posting about it. I think for them it helps as well, is that they have particularly beautiful bags. So it's because it's beautiful and travel has so much social currency, it's easy to inject that into lifestyle content.
Yeah, I imagine that is. But I like how you what you're showing us here is different use cases. So you can use this system just to get creative, which you can use in your ad content. So maybe you just want videos which you're going to chop up from people. They don't have to post anything. Maybe you do want them to post stuff. Maybe you also want attributable sales. The thing is actually quite dynamic, isn't it? It's quite flexible to how you want to run as a business. I guess for most people, their default is going to be, I think, most people are going to think, well, of course I want attributable sales. Why would I not want attributable sales? But is that always I mean, you've mentioned one company that doesn't do that, the gym company, but is that always the best policy, or how would I determine what the right route to go down is?
I mean, look, it really depends on what stage you're in as a business. If I was a new business that was just getting started, probably the better outcome and the easier outcome might just be to get people posting about you. Top of funnel awareness, driven by getting authentic influencers who are purely just a post to the Instagram story. If you can get them posting once a month or once every 2 weeks about you, that's huge validation to their audience that this brand is a real deal. As soon as you start attaching affiliate links and referral links, it can cheapen or sort of take some authenticity away from that post. So if I want just to get a bunch of creators posting about it, so I feel like I'm a brand that's being talked about in the world, that can be a really positive outcome. And then eventually, after 3 or 4 months of doing that, with the rewards going to the people who are posting and seeing how that engagement works and the way they like to talk about your brand, you can take those learnings and feed them into your advertising engine for some sort of creative content ideas. And then you can start injecting some referral links or affiliate links into that type as well. But I wouldn't try and rip those affiliate links right off the bat. I would just let's get our position in the market. Let's get people talking about us. Let's make us look like a real tangible brand if we're new and still early on the journey. And then hopefully that'll lead to some transaction. But if you try and jump to that point too early, you can sort of sacrifice some authenticity in that process.
Yeah. No, I like that. And you bet it's very top of funnel then, isn't it? It's all very brand
Yeah.
awareness type thing. How do you track it, right? So if I'm going to do that whole brand awareness thing, and it's like, okay, guys, these are the rewards if you do whatever 5 stories, 3 reels, and a partridge in a pear tree, then
Yeah.
you get this reward. How do you track that? Is that something that they need to tell you that they've done? Is that something you can track automatically with hashtags? How do I make that process easier?
Yeah, so look, different brands do it in a different way. For a lot of the brands we work with, we'll take 100% ownership of that tracking. And part of the process will be that we've got some clever tools that can make assumptions around the reach of a post, or in some cases, we'll just ask the creator on the 23rd hour of the story being up, shoot us over a screenshot of the reach, and we'll just store that against our profile. So we know that this person consistently gets this reach, and it's been posted, and this is what it looks like. But like a good brand that's on their toes will be consistently resharing that content as well in real time, just to continue the amplification process. So we as part of the process, we tend to build out these pretty comprehensive CRM type tools of these are all the folks on the roster, this is who's posted, this is the reach, and this is their reward that's been put back to them. So if you want to, like, obviously we know the space that we operate in, and as much as it's nice to have the warm fuzzies for having someone post about you, we need to be able to be compared to other places that money's going. So you can see what the CPM is. You can see what if we're doing that referral or affiliate based approach, you can sort of throw together a CPC or even a cost per acquisition on the back of it, and that'll at least keep us in a position where we can be compared apples with apples. Whereas in the past, and we sort of spoke to that original influencer marketing approach at the top of the call, which was like just throw money at a big influencer and maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. There's no real way of telling. Whereas now it should be like, all right, this is how it compares with our Facebook spend, with our Google spend, and we can see exactly how that compares.
Fantastic. Look, listen, before we get to the saving the best till last section, now's the time. Before we're going to get to that, and if you don't know about the saving the best till last section, it's a new segment to the show. Stay tuned because we're going to save the best till last. Now, let me ask you, Luke, this is the time of the show where I go, what's your question for me? This is where I take your question. I will go away and I will answer it on social media, predominantly LinkedIn, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to take your question. I'm going to answer it on LinkedIn. So if you don't follow me, by the way, already on LinkedIn, come follow me at Matt Edmondson. You'll see the answer there to this question. Go, Luke.
So, Matt, you've been in e-commerce for a long time, a very long time, longer than most. And I'm sure you've lived through many of these hype cycles of there's a specific part of e-commerce marketing that comes through that's particularly frothy and then dies away. Mm-hmm. Looking at this moment in time right now, I'd love to know, is there any hype that's happening now that you think brands and brand owners are over-investing time and energy into? And then on the other side of that is, where are people not investing enough time and energy into? What's like the low-hanging fruit out there that you consistently look at brands and you're saying, like, these people are absolute idiots for not investing a little bit more time and energy into this one simple thing that can have like really good outcomes?
That is such a phenomenal question. Now, Luke, I know before we start recording, you said, we've got the question for Matt thing. That's good. That's great. Whoever put that together, genius. Loving that. If you want to know how I'm going to answer Luke's great question, then like I say, follow me on LinkedIn at Matt Edmondson. You'll find the answer there at some point in the future, no doubt. Luke, listen, how do people reach you? How do they connect with you if they want to do that? What's the best way to find out about maybe connecting with the Rave, maybe get their help on board? I don't know. What's the lowdown, bro?
Yeah, look, I like to be nice and approachable. Just email me, luke@therave.co. You can find me on LinkedIn, Luke Yarnton. There's not too many Luke Yarntons out there. Otherwise, yeah, therave.co is the website. There's a bunch of ways that you can book some time with me and we can sit down and have a chat and talk through potential strategies for your brand.
Fantastic. We will, of course, link to Luke and all of his stuff, the email, the LinkedIn, all of that sort of stuff will be in the show notes, which if you're just on the podcast app, just listening, scroll down, it'll be there. In the YouTube description, scroll down, it'll be there. Of course, you can go to the website, ecommercepodcast.net, and it'll be there. And of course, if you are subscribed to the newsletter, it will also be in your inbox. And if you're not subscribed to the newsletter, why not? What's wrong with you? It's the best newsletter going out there. It's unbelievable, this thing. It's actually, we're in a really, I've mentioned this a couple of times on the show. We've just changed over how we do the newsletters. And the new system that we've got coming up is almost launched. It's a little bit behind. I'm about 2 weeks behind, but we're just about to launch it. And the value of the newsletters is just shot through the roof. So do find out more information about that, of course, at ecommercepodcast.net, where we'll put in all the strategies and stuff from Luke about influencer marketing, if that's something you want to get into. Right, Luke, in the last few minutes, let's do the saving the best till last. This is where I like to just reward everybody that stayed with us throughout the entire journey on this podcast. That we are using the word reward, and there's no link, there's no referral link, ladies and gentlemen. But if you stayed with us this long, I just like to ask our guests for their best tip to save the best till last. So, Luke, what is that from you, my friend?
So this is a little secret that we've just recently learned. And for us, it's been a massive unlock that I think can be applied to anyone who's trying to do similar things to what we're trying to do. Which is sort of getting an outcome from a customer that loves your brand, that is them doing something for you, right? So that learning is that obviously for us, what we're trying to do is get people posting about a brand after they've made a purchase in real time, ideally. What we've found is that offering a slight refund or a fraction of a refund outperforms any other incentive ridiculously. So by that, I mean, for some reason, let's say you made a purchase that's $100. If I were to say to that person, hey, look, we'll give you $20 if you post an Instagram story about our brand or an unboxing video on your Instagram story, $20, response rate for that tends to be sort of like 3 to 5%, pretty low.
Yeah.
If you change that and say, hey, look, we're going to give you a 20% refund on your recent order for making a post about us, that skyrockets. For some reason, there's some, and look, you've been in e-commerce and in marketing for much longer than I have, Matt. There's something there around consumer psychology where a refund for a recent purchase is perceived to be either much more valuable or much less icky than the corresponding pay for post. I think maybe there's something to do with like loss aversion, but we've found that offering that small refund, it doesn't have to be a full, if you can offer a full refund on a purchase for something that's going to send people absolutely nuts. But just a small refund for some sort of outcome goes so well. And look, that offer can go out to any customer. It doesn't have to be an influencer that's in your audience. If you wanted to ask every single person who made a purchase from you to post about their product, your product, after they've made a purchase, and offer them like a 25% refund on their order or something with a maximum of, you can set a max limit on that as well, you'll get significantly more people posting about you.
That's incredible. I'm smiling because actually we do a lot of research after we do the podcast. Based on our conversation, we go away and we do some research, right? And we look at some of the latest stats and stuff. And so when we write the blog posts and when we do the newsletters that I've mentioned, we want to add extra value, right? We're starting to put a lot more stuff in these blog posts and case studies, blog posts and newsletters. That one stat alone is going to send the research nuts because I now need to understand why that is the case. I've got some theories. I wonder what it comes back with. My gut feel would be actually getting a refund is really easy because you're going to refund. You've already got my credit card details. If you're going to pay me $20, I've got to set up an account. I've got to give you my email. Does that mean I have to declare it on a tax return? There's all kinds of problems associated with that, which, are synonymous with it now.
Exactly.
Whereas a refund is an easy win, isn't it? It's just like, oh, great, just put the $20 back in my account. Man.
Yeah, look, I think to your original point, perception of work I'm doing changes if it's I'm getting something back versus I'm getting something new. And it changes at that point of transaction. It changes the value proposition around like what I've just purchased, and actually I'm getting something for cheaper than I thought it was for doing something that I might have done anyway. So
That's brilliant. I have to say, Luke, I've not been tracking actually since we've been doing it, the saving the best till last. But if I was, I dare say, if that's probably the best answer we've had on the saving the best till last. So I have to do this. I have to applaud you. Yes, very good. Well done. Nailed that. Fantastic. Luke, listen, man, really appreciate you. Appreciate you coming on the podcast. It's been great to meet you and talk to you all the way on the other side of the Atlantic. Love what you guys are doing. And of course, if you are in the market for some help with influence marketing, then do connect with Luke. But Luke, appreciate it, man. You're a legend. Thanks for coming on the show.
Cheers. Thanks for your time, Matt.
No problem. Now, that's it from me. That's it from Luke. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a fantastic week wherever you are in the world. And of course, I will see you next time. That's it from me. Bye for now.